We were lucky enough actually to get this. One of the other television shows was holding, Lenny Marvin was the prop house, and they had about 6 or 7 of these, and one show was sitting on holding all of them. And we begged to say, can we please just get one of them? Unfortunately, they said, yeah, okay. And then it turns out the day I went to pick this up, the other show didn't take any of them, so. Which is kind of just the way it works, so.
Production design is where it starts to get fun. The visualization starts to hit the page. You know, you bring on a production designer. From a director's perspective, it's one more person that you're bringing to the team that is adding to your vision.
Basically, what I do as production designer is I take the director's vision, what he has scripted, and both what he wants visually as well, and I turn it into reality. I try and create like a really good atmosphere for him to shoot in, according to sort of what kind of vibe he wants, what kind of mood he wants, what aesthetically he has in mind for his story, and I bring it to life.
She was great. You know, it's great to work with someone that has a vision in addition to your own, and that's really what filmmaking is about. Is just adding, as you're bringing on these different crew members, they each bring their own vision, and they add to what you're trying to accomplish, into your vision. It makes it 10 times better than if you're just trying to do it all yourself.
When I'm dressing a set, I think about numerous things. One, and first and foremost, is who is this character or this atmosphere, or what am I exactly, you know, dressing? What am I trying to express here? And I want to make things as authentic as possible. So if I'm dressing a character's bedroom, you almost have to be in like sort of an actor's sort of mind frame and really think about what this person, what this character would have in their living space or whatnot. You know, for this, you know, it's the sort of thing where we'll be shooting in a Turkish village, an impoverished sort of place, urban place. What sort of things would these people have in their homes? What would they have outside their homes? What would the city have? What would the city be like? You know, what kind of things would be in that atmosphere? Aside from that, you also think about color, composition, form. You know, the list goes on, and there's just so much to think about. If you're doing a period piece, are these items proper for that time period or decade, you know? So there's a lot of research to be done depending on sort of what kind of project you're working on. Okay, so the balloons are for filling trash bags without wasting a bunch of paper. So we're gonna start blowing up the balloons. Elizabeth, we have the trash.
So production design is you know, it's the phase where you are really visualizing the, you know, the look, the feel of the film, down to textures, colors, you know, what kind of props, materials, what are we going to use to create a feel for the film. With Big Game, we had lots of conversations with regard to the bazaar and what it was going to look like, and what are the colors, and what are the, you know, the textures that we want to use, the colors on the walls.
As you're designing, you can look at the storyboards and really determine, okay, how much of this space are we going to be seeing? You know, especially on a low budget production, it really comes in handy because you can look at these storyboards and really utilize your money only to go towards places where you know for a fact that it'll be shown on camera.
The DP and the production designer, I think, should be best friends. And the reason I say that is because a white wall will always be a white wall, and it will never be any prettier than a white wall. Photography is based on what's in front of the camera, and a production designer is in charge of what's in front of the camera. Everything from the type of clothes they're wearing, to the type of automobiles they're driving, to what the backgrounds look like, to the colors of the walls. And these are things that will definitely be affected by the way I shoot them. So if I'm best friends with a production designer, we can work together from the very beginning and decide on color schemes, color swatches, what kind of lighting is going to be built into the sets, how the sets are going to be lit, and all these things is this, I think, this symbiotic relationship between the production designer and the director of photography. So when you get to shooting, they're not going to pull a weird checkerboard wall or something that I don't know about, so we all can be on the same page from the very beginning.
I got this at Universal. It's our wall sconce light fixture for a shot that I guess Tristan wants to do with this, very close in the foreground, hanging high above the New York street, and people sort of out of focus in the background, kind of walking down the street, and just sort of that kind of action. I think it'll be a really cool stylistic shot. So.
The production designer is my main source of information. That's my go-to person. She's the one who hires, or he is the one who would hire me and bring me on. They convey what their whole concept for the look of the show is. Whether it's a period piece, a modern piece, where it's set, what kind of environments they want the characters to be in, run down, sophisticated, rich. Granted, the set decorator would get some of that from, of course, the script, but a lot of things end up being discretionary.
A basic art department generally has a production designer, and then the art director is sort of like the production designer's right-hand man, who helps to do various things from creative help and research and things of that nature, managing the team, to managing budget and helping out with those things. You also have a set decorator who generally has a decorating assistant and buyers who help shop for set dressing. You'll have sometimes on big productions, on most big productions, you'll have a construction crew with a lead man, the lead man's part of the set decorating crew. They help with numerous pickups, drop-offs, things of that nature, swing gang, and then you've got your construction crew who builds the sets.
Smaller shoots, you wear a few more hats. On a bigger shoot, you have more people, and people take on very niche jobs. Typically, we would have the positions of an on-set dresser for the art department, and the property master would also have an on-set props man whose their only job is to assist the set decorator and the property master, making sure that we have everything we need, that it's getting on the set, before they're going to shoot, that person is always tracking it, so that, like, if someone takes a lighter onto the set, that when they come off, they take that lighter back and keep track of it.
If you've got a lot of set design going on your production, you would generally hire set designers as well. So that's kind of like the breakdown. An art department, there's so many different areas, and the bigger the film gets, the more sort of subdivisions there are. I mean, on huge films, there's a whole entire department for greens, which is any sort of greenery. There's obviously the props department, which, exists on pretty much everything, although sometimes we handle it as well as part of like a production design or art directing job on occasion. Greens department, drapery department, the list goes on. A food specialty department if there's food styling going on. I mean, I've been on some big pictures where there's like an art department of over 100 people easily. So, on this big game, we have a production designer, a set decorator / art director, who's Elizabeth, and our prop master, Justin. So, our crew is quite scaled down, but we're handling it. It's going well.